Hello, my name is Matthew Cushing, and today I will be discussing my business model canvas with you. The value proposition and key insights are as seen on this slide. The value propositions of my cookie dough business include delicious baked goods, the opportunity to have a fun night out and to make memories, or to reward yourself or friends or loved ones with a special treat. And it also provides a good experience where you're able to customize a cookie and make a cookie that you want. Some of the customer pains are that they're missing out on creating memories, or they don't know how to make memories with their loved ones. And it can be hard also to please a large group at the same time at other places. And some of the gains from my value proposition include the ability to create memories and the opportunity to express their creativity through customization and the opportunity to spend time with friends and family in a fun environment. This is my minimum viable product. I have here a picture of what my product would look like essentially, or what it could look like, as well as a simple menu that I have shown people that I've interviewed. And it has grown throughout the process. Some of the changes that I've made to the MVP are additions of flavors, whether that's the actual cookie dough or add-ins or toppings as well. I've added things throughout the process. Initially, I was planning only to do raw cookie dough, but some of my interviews suggested that cooked cookie dough also would be a big hit. And additionally, health conscious cookies, I wasn't really leaning on that, but multiple people suggested that having that as an option for those who wanted it would be a benefit. And then obviously I mentioned toppings and sides that I added throughout the process. And basically, this shows that there is a cookie for anybody who comes, that they can really create whatever cookie it is they want. As I did research on the market sizing, found out that bakeries in the United States make around $30 billion every year. And my small cookie bakery obviously would be located here in Northwest San Antonio, where I currently am. There are a lot of people here, so I had to do some estimating, but my approximate market reach, at least for the first couple of years, would probably be around 50,000. Here I've created empathy maps for some of my customer segments. And so this first slide is about parents with young children. I've gone through and made an empathy map about what they think and feel, what they hear, what they see, say, and do, and then their pains and their gains. So I think as I've interviewed, I've seen parents that want to be fun parents and they want to help their kids enjoy life and make memories with their children. And as you can see here on the map, they are hearing about friends who are doing fun things with their kids. And their kids also are saying that they want to make memories and have fun. Here, my next customer segment is kind of a teenager and young adult segment. Shows here what they think and feel, what they hear, what they see, also what they say and do, and their pains and gains. So a lot of their thoughts and feelings are the need to fit in with friends and to create memories, to enjoy their youth kind of before they have to become adults. And so I think that my business provides the opportunity for that. And the next segment I had was young couples or those who are dating. They need something to have fun, and obviously food is always good. Um, so here is my empathy map for that segment as well. My customer relationships, I did some research about the get, keep, and grow strategies. My get strategy, I decided to focus on having a grand opening for my business with giveaways and lots of advertising, just to raise awareness of my business and to get people in the door, where I would, give away free cookies so they could actually taste things and want to come back as well. To keep customers, I would develop a frequent diner system. So every time they came in, they would use a punch card, and after they bought 10 cookies, they would get an 11th for free. And I also wanted to keep them engaged, keep them invested in the company. I thought that a customer contest would do that, so they could submit ideas for new recipes or ideas for cookies. And the winner, we could do this monthly or quarterly, and the winner of that contest would receive a gift card. And my growth strategy is to simply have a referral program where a current customer would bring in a new customer, and they would both get a discount on a cookie or something like that. The distribution channel that I would be working through mostly would be a brick and mortar shop. I would have an actual location where people would come in and buy cookies, but also I would utilize an online channel for those who just wanted the cookies and could have them delivered. But the brick and mortar store would provide the in-store experience where you're able to create your own cookie. The delivery option, you would basically pick what kind of cookie you want and they would deliver that to you. Key partners I found important would be somebody like Johnson Brothers Baking Supply. They are the ones I chose because they're the leading bakery supplier here in Texas. But I also thought of partnering with a supplier like Ghirardelli to use only their chocolate because it's a popular brand of chocolate, something that people enjoy, and that might create greater value for them. Additionally, I would partner with a mall or a shopping center somewhere that already has lots of traffic that would be beneficial for me. Key resources I found: the physical, as mentioned before, the location, the mall or the shopping center, somewhere with high traffic, and those suppliers that I already mentioned. Financial resources would be a small business loan or angel investors or other investors who would provide the funds to get my business off the ground. Human resources, I would simply try to attract good employees by creating a culture that employees would like, something fun. A lot of my employees would likely be high school students, younger people, kind of looking for a part-time job. So I would try and create a good, fun culture that also provided some benefits for them. And intellectual resources would be trademarks to protect my slogans and my logo, copyrights to protect written content, and trade secrets to protect recipes that I have. Key activities. I had two main key activities. First, we'll talk about supply chain. So it would be very important for me to know what supplies I needed, where I could get those. So it'd be important for me to contract with the right suppliers that had everything that I needed and that were willing to deliver those supplies in a way that I needed and when I needed them. So having those contracts and a schedule where I would receive the supplies that I needed and be able to keep up on my inventory. This might be a bottleneck issue for me, just being able to have the right amount of inventory without running out, but not having too much to take up space. The other key activity I determined would be website development. If my online sales were going to be successful, we would need a website that would be easy to use, that would reflect the brand and would allow customers to find value as well. So we would need to determine the total needs for a website, see what it would cost to build that website, and then determine whether I need to hire my own employees to develop the website or contract out that job to somebody else. Here's my cost structure. It would obviously require both variable and fixed costs. This top segment is variable costs, which include ingredients. I included my beginning equipment, and those came out to about $74,000 initially for the first year. And the fixed costs are rent, utilities, labor, marketing, advertising, and those total fixed costs came to about $66,000. So my total costs were about $140,000 for the first year. And here is my revenue model, based on my direct sales in-store and online, with the cookie price base of about $5, with toppings, additional toppings and add-ins above the 2 that are included with the base of 25 cents each. So I had to use some assumptions about how much I would sell, but based on my first year projections, I would have gross sales of $105,000 and total expenses a little bit more than that, mostly because of the initial equipment that I would need. So my expenses would be a little bit higher in the first year, causing me to have an operating income of negative $35,000. Metrics that matter. These are the metrics that I chose that I would definitely want to keep an eye on. First is labor costs. I would need to make sure that I had the right amount of labor costs, that I wasn't paying too much for my labor so that I was losing money, but also that I had enough labor so that I could adequately serve my customers. So keeping an eye on that, making sure my labor costs weren't hurting the bottom line. Marketing costs, making sure that my advertising and marketing was contributing to increased revenue. And if it wasn't, I would need to figure out something else or stop marketing if it just wasn't working, but likely figure out a different way to market so that I could increase revenue. And my app or online sales, I would need to keep an eye on those to see if it was actually worth keeping. If people only are coming into the store and nobody's using my online channel, and it wouldn't be worth keeping the website up and running, having somebody working on that. Total sales also would be a metric to watch. Am I on track to meet goals with my sales? If not, how do I increase them? What do I need to do to make sure that I'm going to meet my goals? And cash burn per period, also a metric I would need to watch. Make sure I'm not burning too much cash, but that I also am burning enough to reach my goals and increase my sales. Market type, I am in an existing market. There already are some competitors. Viva La Dough, Donation, and Scooped are some of the competitors I've seen already. So I would have to be aware of them and also try and create value that they do not currently create for customers. Insights from interviews. As I interviewed I had lots of insights, but the most prevalent are these that I have here. A lot of people say it would definitely be best to have my business location in a spot where there is already high traffic, such as that mall or shopping center area. A lot of people said providing the option for delivery would be beneficial for groups and for friends that want to go into the store. They would probably do that, but there are some individuals that would just want the cookies delivered but didn't necessarily want to go out to the store. And the other important thing is to provide a good environment and to make the environment part of my product, part of my value proposition. Obviously, I would need to have good cookies to have sales, but also to create an environment that was fun and was memorable so that people would come and enjoy the whole experience, the cookie and the environment, that everything would be a good experience for them while they were in my store. The feedback from my advisors was to simplify my value proposition and to include more visual graphics to show what my value proposition would be. My business model environment, my market forces would mostly be focused on attracting customers through creating value, listening to customers, making sure that I am providing what it is they want. The industry forces, obviously, is very important to keep stakeholders happy. And the key trends, making sure I'm adhering to business laws, not doing things that would ruin my company or shut down my business. Obviously, you can't make money if your business is shut down. And then also macroeconomic forces, making sure that I understand what supply and demand are and how the economy is doing so that I can provide the correct amount of supply for the demand that is needed. Here is SWOT analysis on my value proposition, my revenue and costs, my infrastructure, and customer interface. A lot of my strengths revolve around providing value, at least for the value proposition, and making sure that the experience is good for each customer. Revenue and costs definitely have a lot of assumptions based around them because we haven't been in operation yet. So we had to make assumptions about the costs of making the cookies, selling them, and the revenue as well. And so there's my SWOT analysis. Some of the major pivots that I made from my initial canvas to my final canvas, and I'll show both of those later. But the major pivots I made are my key partners. I didn't understand necessarily the importance of having a supplier. I initially thought I would just be able to kind of be my own supplier, but I came to realize that was probably not realistic. So that was the major pivot that I had. Also, key resources, including intellectual property, was something that was a major pivot for me to protect my copyrights, my trademarks and slogans, as well as recipes and things. That was something I was missing at the beginning. Also, my value proposition was a major pivot. Initially, I was so focused only on the cookie that I forgot about the environment and the product as a whole. And so I pivoted to make sure that the product overall was more than just the cookie, but that the environment and the experience itself was something that customers found value in. And also location. This was probably the biggest pivot that I had. I had not really thought about putting my business in a location that already had a lot of traffic. I wanted to probably have a shop kind of out of the way, but based on interviews, it made sense to pivot and make sure that I would be able to have a location that already had existing traffic so that people would be more willing to buy my product. And here is my initial canvas, just the thoughts that I had before my interviews. A lot of things are just basically my assumptions here. And then this next slide shows my final canvas. A lot of pivots, definitely more packed, a lot of different ideas. I'm grateful that my interviews were able to provide for me. And with that, that is the end of my presentation. Thank you for paying attention.